Hello people and welcome to watch the second quarterfinal of the day of the Carcassonne Champions League Season 2. This second match is between the defending champion, someone you know, Vladimir Kovalev, who is gonna go up against um, the strong Czech opponent, Pavel Hudek, with the screen name posij118, who I believe won bronze actually in the MSO Grand Prix of this year in January. So certainly that in itself is already a rather great accomplishment. MSO, as we all know, is filled with excellent players, and the level of play in that competition is potentially the highest that it always gets in a year in a event of a single year. So that's of course arguable, but there's no doubt that the MSO is one of the top events of the year. Now, um, Vladimir, as uh, as I think most of you are well aware of who he is. No surprises here. Did finish first in his group in Group A. Uh, did kind of clinched off the number one spot from Hydro Baby with one additional game win. And his opponent, Pavel Hudek, was a second place finish in Group H. 3 wins, 2 losses, and well, it's kind of difficult to beat the number 2 elo of all time, Rapid Rain. So certainly a difficult group for the Czech player. But he has now managed to get to the quarterfinals, and now is yet another chance for him to show what he is made of. So he will be going against the defending champion in a best of 5. So we are going to be watching at least 3 matches, but preferably even more, because more is always fun, and the more the more games there are, the more tension it's going to feature. I would actually place uh, Vladimir Kovalev as the rather sizable favorite, even like despite the fact that uh, Posij actually, I believe, is well above Vladimir in rating wise. You can see Vladimir at 685 and Posij, as we saw, at 770. So an 8-year-old, an 8 years of difference, and namely about 8 years at least, if not more, of difference in competitive Carcassonne experience. Now, Posij, I think he's actually rather um, new to the competitive scene, or at least he's like success-wise, he's rather new. He might have had actually a his position of glory in the World Championships a couple of years back. but I believe that has been only once so far, whereas Vladimir has represented either RCP or Russia many times. And the last time he did that was actually last year. So there is definitely a big difference in the competitive experience. But we'll see how posij actually actually uses his well, quote unquote advantage here as the online player who seems to be in a more commanding position regarding his current ranking points. And onwards we go. Pavel is the first on the scoreboard, gets the early city in his favor, whereas Vladimir starts a road of 3 points and starts also a city of his own. Posij likely, I would have to say, is gonna go here. Not much value in going over here, arguably, because he wants to take this like one of these city caps, and you don't really want to take a city cap that is immediately in a position of being restricted. Vladimir, with the first monastery, puts up nicely in into a 4-point position, and he gets some additional value also from that spot, as he's gonna be able to continue or finish his city and at the same time surround the monastery. So double purpose moves are going to be the name of the game to ensure maximum efficiency. And Boshi, rather interesting decision. So he goes for a large city plan after Vladimir was able to attack on the more juicy city. But I have to say that it is rather interesting choice actually, because now the Czech player is going to be needing actually 2 triple cities, though I don't think he's going to be all that picky, but the triple cities will certainly be the best possible tiles for the Czech player to continue and to connect on this city piece of Vladimir, and also to build up the city in a way that it's going to not allow attacking chances for a second meeple of green. Calmly adding a point to the monastery for Vladimir. Meanwhile, the Czech attacking the 3-point road as he didn't really have anything better to do. I am sort of surprised that Vladimir does not end up going on the field yet, because that is exactly what Red is going to do when he gets his hands on any curve pretty much. Because it's going to be featuring 2 cities plus the third one of Vladimir, so it's going to be rather quickly a 9-point field, and a 9-point field is often where the line goes. 9 points usually justify a use of a meeple. Now, does Vladimir prepare another monastery spot, or does he simply go for a single point and maybe a farmer? I think a monastery spot is a little bit more efficient, but he just decides to keep the variety small. Unfortunately for himself, he does catch the monastery right away, and yeah, this is really, really unfortunate stuff as he is not able to use that efficiently. Furthermore, he now did drop the farmer, but as a sequence of a move by two curves from the Czech opponent, one restricts the city to a city plus road tile, and one restricts the city to the only remaining dagger that's in the game. Also gets the connection on the 3-point road at the same time. So this is certainly some marvelous stuff for the Czech player here. Should be more or less rejoicing his position. And another wonderful tile for posij as he gets the 7-point monastery, which is actually really, really difficult to do anything to if you are the player with the green meeples, and is likely going to be completed without any issues. Could even go for like a straight road and then another monastery. But is Vladimir going to go for a monastery himself? No, he is not. Decides to go for a restrictional move, like a potential restriction move, which, I mean, it does make sense because you have two meeples in hand and you have a field with actually very little growth potential, only for this one city, which has one tile to get finished. So you are kind of stuck with this meeple for a long time, and this 6-point field meeple is obviously not gonna come back into the into green's hand. And you also want to keep one of the two meeples for a city attack here, which is why Vladimir decides not to meeple the monastery just below Red's monastery of their own and kind of equalize those up. Posij with a decision to be made. Do you go over here, prepare a monastery spot, but then you can also be blocked with a monastery? And there's only 2 monasteries remaining as of right now, so even though it's like theoretically great to have a chance to finish a monastery with another monastery, it could backfire like really, really badly because you don't have like a great probability to actually get one of those monasteries to yourself. Oh, well, this is, oh wow, isn't this interesting? So instead goes for the attack on the road, also threatens to block this 1-point city entirely, which now Vladimir is able to save. And I mean, Posij, he's gonna have to go for the full plan now that he has started it, and he certainly will, I believe. Like, if he doesn't connect, then I have no idea why on earth you would go there in the first place. Because you definitely don't want a crossroad to go there. yeah, this 6 extra points was exactly what he wanted to get. And actually now the pressure is kinda on Vladimir, because there is an obvious spot to go with a curve and meeple that, and then try and get and then connect to this now 8-point road via the one remaining dagger. But the issue is that green is gonna have like severe battle with himself of having to trust on this one dagger to actually get to his hand, because if he goes for the road and he doesn't get the dagger, then he's gonna have 3 meeples stuck to that dagger with the 6-point farmer, whereas red meeple will whereas the red will only have 2 meeples stuck to that dagger, and they are actually going to be um, at least equalizing on the road points. But this 1-point city is going to be a very, very key thing in this game. And posij can actually, what he can do is he can potentially even pre-finish this road by just adding a curve here and further enticing green to place a meeple of their own on that road, and to further like really create the pressure towards that dagger. Welcome everyone in the chat. Hi and hi Napalm and Joseph. Long time no see. Vladimir simply adding city caps around the around the board. So because he only has one meeple, he is not all that willing to actually spend that one meeple on really anything. He wants to keep that for quick points, but it's kind of troublesome for him, as now all the city caps are in a spot which for which the dagger would be great to get, and so that does put kind of an idea into the head of red, or should be putting in an idea there, that red can actually restrict one of these 3 city caps into a dagger, and that should be able to secure red the city cap if he gets his hands on the dagger, or if green gets the dagger, then red can be most likely certain that green will never be taking that one city cap, because they already have a city of their own waiting for that same dagger. In the meanwhile, posij using a third meeple for the ruin fight, and it's going to certainly favor him, as he is the player with the meeple majority, and given the 6-point farmer of Vladimir, it's going to be really, really difficult for him to fight for this ruin, or for this city actually. I mean, it can very, very easily get finished over here. And looks like it is on its way to being finished, or at least on its way to being made into a large, large ruin, as the Czech player finds a triple city immediately. and is now controlling a ruin or city with 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 points. And Green is going to have difficult time dealing with that, because first of all, he really wants to get a crossroad to get this meeple back, and only then potentially attack this city. But then if he actually doesn't meeple anything here, then he's going to be leaving a lot of stuff for potentially red to take. It's going to create a 5-point road here with a crossroad, and another 5-point road here with a crossroad. And it's also going to end the road on one spot for red in case green ever gets that dagger. And actually now the situation has changed. Now that the dagger would actually be adding 6 or 7 points actually to the road of red, I don't even think that green is all that willing to place a dagger here anymore, because it won't be giving net points. It's actually going to be a net -1 point move. Though what can still happen is that one or the other of the players blocks this spot, and then green will have no issues to get in with the dagger and get his meeple out, because he's gonna need meeples like really badly here, because now without any meeples he is going to be losing out on value on so many tiles, like all city caps, all city caps, all crossroads, and even potential monasteries if like he would ever be feeling so adventurous, though I doubt that. But he's going to be losing out on points on all quick point tiles, and that's going to not be a good thing. Okay, being very patient with the connection to the ruin, doesn't want to make that with a triple city tile, because that would leave an easy spot for red to simply drop another meeple and connect. So it's going to be waiting for a triangle rather. Gets his meeple out, so now one meeple to play with, and finishes actually this road as well. So yeah, now there is, I don't think there is a way, unless green needs meeples like really desperately, that he's going to be making this dagger move himself, because it's going to be net -2, and it's going to give, yeah, it's going to be net -2 for green, and it's going to give like both players 2 meeples back, as opposed to only giving green his city meeple back as it used to. And it's really tough position actually for green, because he's not much ahead. As a matter of fact, he's losing in points at the moment, due to like being like he's 4 points ahead on the scoreboard, but he still needs to connect to this ruin first. Let's assume he connects, so that's going to be equal. Then he's so +4, +10, +11, and then minus this road, so he's +3 for 1 meeple. So, and you know 3 points for one meeple is not great, especially when that situation is two meeples against one. That is arguably the worst meeple disadvantage that you can have, you know, if we don't count having 0 meeples. Because you have to be so incredibly careful in where you use your meeple, whereas it's whereas your opponent is gonna be more let's say free to use their second meeple out of the two and still have one meeple always in hand. I'm also surprised by the move of the Czech player here, just adding 1 point to a ruin which can never be finished without taking this third green meeple to it. There are no triple cities with a road. 1, 2, 3, 4, and there is only actually one road Dorito. And red also wins the coin flip for the dagger, so this is terrible, terrible, terrible news for green here. Yeah, actually, I'm very surprised how red is not even trying to block this spot further. Like, he actually does have a very good chance of doing it now because green doesn't have, well, first of all, green doesn't have a meeple to actually, benefit from any tile that he places here, and then this tile is also really great for doing the blocks because not many road plus city tiles are actually left in the deck. Like, all daggers are gone. We have all starting tiles that are gone. We have 2 remaining city crossroads, and we have 1 remaining road Dorito. So 3 tiles that would have been able to make well, actually 2 tiles that would have been able to make the save for the green, for green here, because obviously if he gets the road Dorito, he's not going to make a save. He's just going to connect. So instead opts to go for this semi-save, which might work out. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There is still 1 triple city. Not a triple city, but there's the quad city that goes over here. Then there might be extenders or a extender. There is 1 extender and maybe a tube divider. 1. So there are 2 tube dividers remaining. So 4 tiles that can still block this connection versus 1 tile that fits for green for his plans. And those are not great odds at all. They are, as a matter of fact, they are terrible odds. And given that, it's not actually 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Oh, this is actually pretty interesting from the Czech player. So he, instead of actually invading the city, he is just going to be restricting it to the final remaining Dorito, which is going to go here anyway, or the quad city. But is there a divider remaining? Wait. Oh, that was green. Sorry. So is there a divider? There is a divider. But then this actually, I think, makes this move a mistake, because then green could very easily just get a divider and get these 4 points for himself, and red will not be able to benefit from that tile himself at all. Huh, curious stuff. Okay, well, +5 is the scoreboard lead of red here. And, well, the Dorito hits, so +5, this is now equal. +6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 12, 6, and 5. So +5 and 2, and 2 meeples mortar. So this should be a really easy and smooth finish for the Czech player, because even if green gets the splitter, then he's going to get 4 points, but he's still going to be behind in points, and he's going to be a full meeple behind. And being behind a full meeple in this scenario, when there are so incredibly little scoring opportunities, it's just so incredibly difficult position. Like now, what you can see is the red is gonna go here, finish the road and drop a 6-point farmer. Or that's what I would assume that he does, but he doesn't do that. Like, I think if he would be playing like super safe, he would be just dropping a 6-point farmer on this field right here with an added city cap on it. But he decides otherwise. Not that it's like dangerous or anything to actually meeple this city cap, because there are still further city caps remaining in the deck, and given the lead of the Czech player, he can do all kinds of stuff and even take small risks that will be very inconsequential actually for the result of the first game. Welcome to the stream, Leo, as well as Andrews. And like, you see what I mean, like, posij is not even trying to finish this city, but he's just taking further cities, whereas he could already have a meeple on the field. And like, you see, he did actually lose some value out of his like with his final move, because he had to take the field on his final move as opposed to doing it with this move already. So he wasn't able to take like a 4-point city over here, as opposed to having a 1-point city at the top. So some missed points for the Czech player, but overall a very commanding win for the first game. Hudek, with the starting player advantage for the second game, gets to enjoy that free city cap as the first player again, and also gets to start a really nice monastery over here, directly to the right. Some extra points, like all is well. This is a really just fine situation for red as of right now. Starts either a new city or attacks this one. Probably actually attacks this one to kind of discourage green from building the city any further and providing blocking opportunities on this 2-point city over here. But Vladimir ignores the attack and still goes for the blocking platform and seems to be successful as the Czech does not get a great tile for defense and doesn't get any tile for defense actually, and ends up with a 2-point ruin, or let's say a 2-point blocked city. You can't really call a 2-point city a ruin because ruins are, let's say, like 6 or more points. Not official, um, not an official term for ruin or definition. Hello there, Alexei, as well as Esteban. Yeah, I mean, yeah, Vladimir didn't win. What? I mean, this is gonna be this. It's gonna be a fight. I know you have maybe uh, some great memories from Vladimir from last year when he took 3-0 wins left and right, but this time it'll be quite different. This time, Vladimir seemingly has a bit of a tougher path to go through. Posij, I'm actually not sure why he's thinking this so much. Wow. I mean, I was assuming that he just goes here for like maximum points, but seems like he isn't a friend of an idea to potentially get this square restricted to a dagger and having 3 meeples depending on it, so isn't ready to take those risks. But you know, given the amount of tiles that are still available on this square and on this square, and his 2-point ruin with an as an added small disadvantage, I think an aggressive point scoring would be just, you know, in order. So he does get restricted from one end to a dagger. However, you know, as you can see here, would have been able to get out of the jam of his double monastery plus city combo. Whereas now, what you're gonna do? Are you just gonna be adding a city cap to your city and adding 1 point to your monastery? Honestly, probably still so, as he does. So, not really keen on waiting any like ruin type of tiles, as he shouldn't. I think he should absolutely go for the kill here and try and complete this 8-point city. Makes a very important semi-save, and as a matter of fact, Vladimir might actually be discouraged from continuing this city, because if he does so, if he continues or finishes that city, then it will create a platform for posij over here to limit this square to a dagger, and therefore be able to fully actually save this square. So it would like saving this square would, funny enough, be the exactly worth the same as saving this square. And you could argue that, you know, placing something here will save both squares. Not something that you necessarily see every day, saving your square from 2 tiles away, as opposed to just simply placing a saving tile to 1 square away. Welcome, Amires. So if it's under 6 points, it's not ruin, it's just ruble. Rabble. It might be. You would have to ask some wiser people than me. You should definitely not be asking me to give you definitions on this, because there are none. Okay, Vladimir, gonna be going over here most likely to guarantee that he'll either be able to actually finish the city if posij finds a dagger here. Oh, it hurts, man. It hurts. There's so much potential here. There's so much potential. Ay, 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 ay. Because like Vladimir can actually get a dagger himself if he goes with a curve first here and then still block this square. But if he doesn't get anything, then posij will simply go over here. But this square will not get restricted to oblivion. It will get restricted to a city crossroad, which there are still 3 remaining. So it will be just a perfectly safe city for green. And like green could even actually just destroy his own city with a road Dorito, or with with a road Dorito in case there is a curve, and simply block this monastery and this city with the cost of this one city. It's like it's really not a bad deal. Yeah, as he does though. So you can see there's now a winning mini battle of 5-point city of a wide. There really needs to be a term for this, because it's not a ruin. Come on, it's not a ruin. This 5-point blocked city versus the 3-point blocked city, so 2-point winning mini battle there, plus an additional blocked meeple for Vladimir out of this fight over here. Still rooting for Vladimir to still have a chance at a rematch. Well, might happen, might not. Would be definitely something to see. The grand finals being Alexei versus Vladimir, somewhat of a iconic matchup. Posij adding 1 point to the monastery, as well as providing some threats on the 1-point city of Vladimir here. There's an argument that you potentially wouldn't even need to add this meeple on the city. You could even do something like just turn this city the other way around without a meeple, and then you have 2 platforms with a road tile or with a field tile to start blocking this guy. But now, sure, I mean, you can do that. You can do blocking with tempo with like a city cap over here and then a road tile here. Okay, an interesting decision by the Czech actually provides a blocking platform on this vulnerable square of connecting to the 5 points. Okay, let's call it a ruin, to a 5-point ruin part, as opposed to keeping this simple 1-point city part for himself. He still has some growth potential, like he can now go with a triple city with a road and expand his own part of the ruin with 2 points and additionally city points as well. But I would say that, for the Czech player, it was potentially even better to go over here on this side to, with the straight road, to have both a platform, on the upper side and on the lower side, in case Vladimir gets any kind of Dorito or Triple City or whatever, really, to continue his city. Whereas now he kind of blocked off his only attacking platform of that city project. Was it not better to point the cow with field side down to make the block of the city of posij? Hold up. To point the cow with field side down to make the block of posij. Yeah, over here. I was about to come to that at the time, but it's somewhat. It's arguably like really really low chances that this city would actually come out as completed by itself without red connecting or without this uh, square being blocked. So it doesn't really matter, but you would be right in a sense that I would, I mean, at least I would be directing just the field side downwards to like keep that little bit of extra percentage points in, you know, alive in case there is a disastrous scenario and we actually need to complete that city. So, there is a clear um, case to be made in turning this cow the other way around. Point the cow with the field side up gave red a spot to discard the monastery and not stack. Wait, how does that work? Because isn't that the exact opposite? Oh, yeah. So Alexei is saying that this move gave posij the possibility to actually just discard the monastery over here, as opposed to using the only possible, almost the only possible spot, and going over here with the stacking, because like obviously posij is not gonna go over here and threaten with the block of his own features. So there's certainly some extra benefit also there as well. But I still think the discarding of the monastery was a mistake in itself already. In the meanwhile, red able to block off the city of Vladimir here, and in the process does leave a city cap lying around, which Vladimir takes advantage of, and also gets a very, very juicy vanilla and gets to be the first player on this field with 12 points, and which is really, really juicy actually. Especially in a game with lots of blocked meeples, it's gonna be potentially really, really gruesome for red to try and fight for it. But this is, I don't know, leaving these 4-point roads behind. This is like something that you do when you are behind, but are you really as green? Plus 11 for red, plus 13, 16, 19, 26, 32, 27, 19, 7. I mean, you were like plus 2. But you have the field control and you can potentially just drop city caps I'm actually not sure who is exactly ahead at the moment. Like, point-wise, obviously, it's red with a few points, but when you look at the actual board and see the situation, I would argue that green is in a completely fine spot, and there's no need to actually make these 4-point loops to be potentially just taken by red. Okay, as Vladimir, do we add these city caps over here and give ourselves a chance of getting a road monastery to recover this meeple and to get 8 points? Huh. Okay, I have to say I'm a bit confused of that move. I mean, it would make sense more if this monastery was not blocked already, but it is. So why do you insist on just throwing away this meeple for a losing mini battle of 2 to 8 points when you are actually behind in points and you want to have like some great scoring opportunities? This was also a +2 move for red here, and I think red is at the moment up by +4 or +5. And green, I think, is gonna have to be a little bit worried about the pending attack on this field, which is going to come at some point from posij if he finds himself to be behind. But at the moment, it's not something that posij needs to do because he is ahead, and at the moment he doesn't actually need the field. But still, like every time you have a 15-point field with only one meeple, it's like this sort of like stress, like in your head that you have to secure it as best as you can. And when you have this kind of situation where you have an attacking point here, an attacking point here, an attacking point here, it's really uncomfortable to be the player with the field, even though it is a very lucrative one. Vladimir showing compassion for streamers and viewers makes it easier to count. Not entirely sure what that is referring to, but maybe for this move that when you just block all meeples, then there are no points to be made, and then it's just very, very easy to count points when you only have to count to like 50. This is a variance reducing move from Vladimir. He thinks he's gonna grow the field and win that way. Okay, it could be. I mean, you could make an argument that Vladimir was just hoping to get the city cap for himself. I mean, it does make sense, but okay, I'll let that slide, I guess. With these 4 points, Vladimir is back to about neck and neck with red here. And we are gonna see when is the time for the Czech player to break and go for a field attack, if ever. What is the point? Because like as many of attacking platforms as there are, somehow this field has managed to be kind of um, uncomfortable for both players because it's really difficult. Oh, what a wonderful move! What a wonderful tile someone had for red, forced to give points. But it's really uncomfortable for both players because for as green you have to you are like constantly hoping to get a regular curve to go here and to like be able to prevent basically any attacks from ever coming. And as long as you don't have that feature covered, then you know there is always this fuzzy opportunity for red to go with a meeple somewhere here or wherever really, as he now does. Now comes the attack, and Vladimir does have the chances to immediately place a farmer of his own, for example over here, and pointing the city to the left. That'll leave the road monastery for both players, and it'll actually also leave like all road tiles for green to also connect to this 3-point mini farm. But I have to wonder, is that actually good or bad for green to now start doing the variance that he, um, according to the chat, was trying to reduce here earlier on by simply getting more cities on the field? Like, has he now come to a different conclusion that getting that road monastery, getting that road monastery um, variance going is like would be a great thing after all? And I'm not convinced that it is. Even though green is behind, he does go for it. He does go for it. Well, there is a starting tile over here, so this square is not immediately blockable with any tile. And it also leaves a city cap here, so you know when Vladimir is those few points behind, I guess it's going to work more in favor of Vladimir to actually have this 8-point, or at least an 8-point coin toss over here, which actually just turned into not an 8-point coin toss but to a 5-point coin toss, but because this is now the feature which will be taken with the road monastery, because I am pretty convinced that neither player will want to get a 8-point monastery which requires a use of a meeple as opposed to 5-point road, which is completely free of meeple investment. You'd only have to count dead meeples without expansion potential once and then keep that score difference in your head. Okay, I see. Yeah, so it's just a difference of how people count points, rather preventing red from drawing the road monastery. As opposed to here, or probably meaning referring to this spot over here. Okay, let's see actually if Vladimir gets the Road Monastery. Will he actually be behind or ahead? Plus 11, 13, 7 versus 7, 8 equal plus 3, 1, 8, 16 versus 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So the field, oh, this is really nice. And it does pay off magnificently for the Czech player as he prepares, first of all, prepares, keyword, the 9-point monastery spot, because there is no way that Vladimir will actually go for that 9-point spot when he has to secure this field for himself. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Well, there are still 2 daggers, not daggers, but 2 straight roads, which is exactly what Vladimir gets. Well, maybe I was a bit too hesitant or a bit too rushy. I mean, there is a way in which there is a way how Vladimir could be rejoicing of this 9-point spot, but he would have to draw this this straight line first and still have the Road Monastery in the deck. But now, even with this connection and even with having this field under his control, Vladimir is in a world of trouble and a world of hurt, as he is about, I'd say, what, 10 points behind? And somehow has to muster up those. And like one completed city on this field is not going to be enough, even if there are enough city caps to do so. Well, there is a starting tile, so maybe this is possible to still finish 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. 2 city caps, from which one is the starting tile, so looks like this is gonna be a rather key for large points, which actually makes me think that maybe the Czech player, if he just takes this 5-point, if he just takes this 5-point city, maybe that's enough. You know, maybe that's all he needs for a win. Or not, considering there is also a regular monastery remaining, and Vladimir can easily make that spot 9 points, and that one monastery will actually get Vladimir at least very, very close to the scores of his opponent, which is what he does. And there are also 2 city caps, and would you look at that, posij draws one of the only absolute god tier useless tiles, which he cannot score either the monastery or the 6-point city. So now what you gonna do? Because now all of a sudden Vladimir might have a route back into this game if he gets like this city first, and then on his final tile he gets the monastery. That's 15 points, guys. That's 15 points. And I'm not sure the lead of posij is enough, especially as the starting player. So this game might not be over. Oh, no. No, 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 no. The Czech player might have just fumbled. He might have just fumbled the back. Or not, because he gets the monastery. But like he might have been really close to fumbling this. He restricted the city towards The only tiles that go there anyway! He was like this close of like destroying his dreams. Oh, brother. Oh, brother. Yeah, definitely credit to Vladimir for actually coming up with a clear strategy to actually make a huge scoring moves here in the end, and his opponent actually helping him doing so, and almost providing the game on a silver platter. Yeah, I mean, look at this. Look at this. It is an 18-point toss. Well, arguably. Let's take some of that back. So, if let's say posij doesn't get this, so that's instead of this 6-point road, Vladimir is gonna get this, so plus 3 points to 72, and then posij gets the road to -3. So okay, it's not an 18-point toss technically, but it is still a significant coin toss of that, and I have to say that if posij just goes over here and makes sure that Vladimir can't get 6 points from this city, and then on his final move make a huge play with the monastery, then I think he has all the necessary keys and houses and locks to actually come up as a winner in any kind of a sequence. By my count, posij was 13 points ahead when he placed that curve, which would mean that posij would win in any case, even if Vladimir gets the dream sequence. But it's still not really a justifiable excuse to make that kind of mistakes. Like you you don't do that stuff. I could understand that if there was only one city cap and you miscounted that, but there were two city caps. You had to know, first of all, what those city caps were, and you had to know that you had to clearly see that you were restricting the city caps to a city cap with a road. Like that is not really a move that you can justify had you lost that game because of that. It would be just a terrible, terrible mistake. Which it still was. Don't get me wrong. It still was a terrible mistake, but it just didn't pay. It just didn't bite back as bad as it could have. Maybe posij was not miscounting, but his logic was like, if Vladimir gets the monastery, I can get the city cap. That also makes sense, but then why do you even do the restriction for? Because you know that your lead is plenty enough so that Vladimir has to get that Vladimir has to do just scoring moves and not be able to block the city. He doesn't need to block the city if he banks on getting the city himself. It doesn't make any sense. He doesn't need to protect it because it cannot ever be blocked by Vladimir because he doesn't have the luxury of doing anything other to the city than actually taking the points. So he's just wasting his move with the curve. I mean, that's at least that's how I see it. But the fact is that the Czech player is up 0-2, and he is only one game away from doing a complete sweep to the defending champion. Something that I would not have even dreamed of seeing, but it is now up on the table. Pun intended. So, Vladimir, now as the 3 decisive games ahead, if he wants to retain his chances or keep his chances alive of still coming out of this on top, gets to be the starting player and has a small advantage on the scoreboard. Lots of shared cities. Interestingly, Vladimir uses a shielded tile to direct his city upwards towards the city of his opponent. Not exactly sure if I would agree with that, and I can tell you the answer is absolutely not. But I reckon he just did not want to see a situation where posij gets a city cap with a road and then goes with like a straight road here and limits the city of Vladimir to the one remaining dagger. Because that would also be the same dagger that he already got limited to once, and that didn't go so well, did it? So maybe some flashbacks from earlier games. The game has barely started and everything is already getting blocked. I agree. Everything is getting shared and blocked, and no points are about to be made in a while. Probably. Maybe this, but that's about it. Vladimir with a meeple advantage and 6 more points on the scoreboard. Now the question for posij is, does he want to go over here and kind of like try and protect this spot? The answer is no, he does not, and he seems to have chosen correctly, because this defense would not have been effective anyway. But I believe this is definitely the point where Vladimir blocks the spot, and his thought process was that when he's going to block the spot, he can then go over here with a triple city or with a quad city and then get his monastery meeple out and sacrifice like 2 or 3 points. Actually, 3 or 4 points. No, 2 or 3 points. Yes, 2 or 3 points. In return of an extra meeple in his hand, which would totally be worth it in this game, which seems to be just filled with the non-completed cities. Just noticed Pavel's 100 elo points ahead of Vladimir. Yeah, we saw that as well, and I have to say I'm very surprised. I mean, Pavel is definitely doing fantastically well on his points, almost at the 800 mark, and I'm not sure. Actually, we're gonna have to take a very quick check now that we are at it, and before we forget, to see if he has ever reached 800, and he has not actually. So we might see another 800 player sometime soon. Of course, well, not during this match, because Pavel only needs to win one more game, but he will very, very likely do everything he can to then get that 800 broken. More points for Vladimir as he finds himself with a divider and gets to score a 6-point city. Or is he gonna go over here? I mean, but the thing is that this looks nice and all, but when you think about it, you are giving 3 points to your opponent and you are getting 5 points yourself. So this is actually only a +2 point move, whereas this is +4 and you get to start another city. So, there is a case to be made here that, people are kind of overestimating the value of splitters in specifically situations like this one, where it's only where the realistic value is only like 2 points as like net worth. When you are starting like fields in, then it's of course a different case, but I would have to stick by my word and say that people are overestimating the value of that move. We are witnessing Pavel at his peak according to the chart you pulled up. Yes, as a matter of fact, that is true. Utterly shocked at the splitter move from Vladimir. Yes, well, we agree on something. It has come to my attention that we had very differing opinions on several moves of Napalm. And I am not actually sure what those are as of right now, but I will be sure to check your stream back as well and see what went wrong in my head, if something. Okay, more points for Vladimir. And so far it's looking pretty good. I mean, +6 on the board, and this is +3 mini battles, so +9, +10, +9, +7. I mean, +7 for Vladimir, so that's respectable. Posij could be going either for a simple move like this, but then do you meeple the city cap, or then he could just take a city of his own at the top and have both city caps and curves to easily get a meeple back. Opts to go for a simple move and leaves a city cap empty, which does seem to kind of not work out. Though it's not that bad that Vladimir did this with a divider, because he arguably could have gone here as well. And even if Pavel would then have a city cap of his own in his hand, then he would be losing out on value of this, or just equalizing this structure anyway, which would happen without the splitter. Arguably, without the splitter, it would actually end up being worse off for Vladimir. So, hello P-chan. Looking forward to watching the recording of your coverage of Napalm Ipache right after this. Well, you are certainly in for a treat. I might have had some instructional moments for Napalm, and this is also something that I believe I mentioned to you even before this match took place, so that our streams can be very, very different from each other. Okay, a small restriction of Vladimir's 2-point city versus the 2-point part of Pavel with some growth potential. No triple cities with a road, and also actually no road Dorito. So this is actually all it takes to block off the connection for this meeple, which means that Pavel can now very easily stack all kinds of city tiles over here and not have to worry about Vladimir connecting to his larger ruin part, which works obviously well for Pavel, though he does actually need to find some expansion tiles for himself before that is actually paying off. And also he is still behind on the scoreboard and on the actual board as well by a few points. But the scoreboard difference is actually it's pretty substantial. I mean, 12 points, and when you are losing on the actual board as well by, I believe, like 2 points, then it's the difference is already plus 14 for green, and with this incredibly dry map and 2 meeples for each player, there is not much room to work with. Something that might happen is just Pavel getting lots of city caps, maybe we go like here with like a tube divider and get this field and then expand to 9 points, 12 points, and then we have to somehow deal with Vladimir attacking that field, blocking off that one meeple, maybe another one, but we have to like we have to conjure up those missing 14 points somewhere, and it's not gonna be easy. It's definitely not gonna be easy. Maybe we can pull a rabbit out of the hat and go for a really desperate move with this city over here, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Well, just as I was about to say, unfortunately, this stuff is not gonna end up working as Vladimir pulls the final triple city out of the deck and is gonna be going like over here, I would say. Or, I mean, this also kind of works because it does ensure that this city will never be completed. But I think, I mean, just going here is going to be a bit more safe because it's only 5 points for one meeple, and posij has a ruin that he can grow anyway, so it doesn't matter that we provide him a second one. And now he's not going to then be able to make use out of the quad city tile. So this is going to be, I'd say, really, really important that Vladimir finds the move over here, which is not difficult to find. Like, you really quickly can see that all triple cities are gone and only the quad city remains for this connection, and that's all you need to know. Then you'll be up for like 9 points for one meeple, and he does find it. 9 points for one meeple, or like 9 points plus one meeple, which is like even better than it used to be. And now the incredible comeback attempt of posij has to be even more incredible in order for him to actually make a credible threat in this game. one thing to note about PGA's ELO rating chart is it doesn't necessarily show the peak of a player, as it only shows one data point per day. That certainly sounds like something that could be accurate, because it's very hard to distinguish a peak rating moment when it like clearly shows a bit less than what you thought it was. When you look at the marks of 100, 200, 300, and so on, and you have to like kind of according to those kind of judge at what the peak rating of someone has been, unless you want to go through the whole manual labor of actually looking through the matches from a specific uh, you know time span, which is not something that very many people are going to be doing. More red people suffering in cities. That is indeed the case. Yeah, I mean, laying down city caps to potential fields is pretty much the only thing that Pavel is able to do, and it's not really paying off that well. Vladimir is gonna be looking to snatch this 9-point field with his extra meeple as soon as possible, I would reckon. Pavel also making a monastery spot here, or maybe preparing with some cooperation from green. But is there a tile to go here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Divider's gone. 1, 2, 3, 4. There is actually a... Yeah, there is a field triangle still remaining, so if Pavel gets that, then... And he does. I mean, we have to go here, yes. Pavel knows exactly what he's doing, and we can't even meeple anything, which is so drastic, and it's so unfortunate when Vladimir just keeps racking points after points. I mean, we do get the monastery that we prepared for, but unfortunately, it's not gonna be nowhere near enough, most likely. I have to say that I don't believe for a second that it's going to be anywhere enough. Because like now we have to take this 12-point field, or like we don't have to actually, we actually can't take that, because we need to score like 4 points here first, and only then afterwards take this field. But it's probably unlikely that it'll be waiting for us on our next turn. I I would argue that it's going to be going to Vladimir on his very next tile if we don't take it now, which we can't do because then that will not offer us any winning chances. Yeah, we have to take the 4 points, and we are probably just relying on Vladimir not getting a road tile, which is not going to happen. Vladimir is going to, or should be, taking this field, which he does. Actually, I'm not sure if there are even any other tiles than road tiles available. If there are, then very, very few. 1, 2, 3, 4. No monasteries remaining. Like no big city tiles at all, I think. Actually, yeah, I'm certain there's no big city tiles remaining anymore. No extenders. And yeah, it's just just road tiles, I reckon. 4, 5, 6, 7. There is a crossroad still, which posij is looking to get with a 6-point with a 6-point haul from over here. And I think we just go, I mean, we have to go for the road, don't we? What? What? But this is 6 points, whereas this is already 7 points road. Okay, I mean, okay. It's not very logical decision to make, but you know, it's not like it was decisive or anything. I mean, posij was losing by a quadrillion points, so a minor, so this minor potential 2-point mistake is not going to matter. Yeah, every single tile was road tile anyway, as per you said. In the previous game, the score situation was +8 when the final curve was placed. There definitely was a route for posij to lose that game. Well, we might even go and check that when the match is over, because I'm still in disbelief that posij made the mistake. Green had to get the city cap first, then monastery, and then that would have been enough to win. Maybe so. Even the 4 points plus field aren't enough for red. Yeah, I have to say I never really thought if it was going to be, but you know, we had to try stuff. We probably had to get like a crossroad plus the crossroad, and maybe then and only then the actual field for ourselves, and that's like never going to happen in a million years that Vladimir will let us have all that. Yeah, it's about just relying on Green's mistakes, but it's kind of difficult to execute that plan when you know you are playing against one of the best players in the world. Or let me rephrase, uh, one of the more consistent competitive players in the world, I would say, in terms of the actual glory and results and rewards. Win on disconnection is always possible. Just draw out your moves as long as you can to get the best odds for it. Okay, it seems like we have some agreeing opinions for Larbatori's mentions from the last game, so that's definitely something that we can yell to posij for or about. A bit of a relief for Vladimir as he takes the scoreboard from 0 and 2 to 1 and 2, and now only 2 out of the 2 remaining games to be won, so no pressure. Pavel, in the meanwhile, has still 2 match balls in his at his disposal, so has to certainly be happy about that. Okay, where do we place a monastery? This seems like the most obvious spot for most points. Decides to go for okay, this is a bit of a riskier placement because something nasty could happen that Vladimir gets a like a triple city with a road, puts it over here, and immediately restricts this square to a starting tile, which there are only 2 remaining. On the other hand, this is like the more efficient building. Or is it actually? Because when you build up this square, you also give a point to your opponent's monastery, and that's not necessarily, any more efficient than just having your monastery over here and building these 2 features separately. I'm kind of on the verge of still just going over here rather as Pavel with his monastery, but it's a done deal. Vladimir with a triple city with a shield, and I think something very juicy that he could have done was to go over here and meeple that city, not only for the monastery points, but more so because he can then take all this space away from the field of red, which he just laid down a farmer too. So instead of 4 tiles, or 4 squares for posij to start new cities from, he would have only 1 single square. And that's like, when you say it like this, you can limit your opponent's field potential by 75%. It sounds pretty good, It sounds pretty good. Don't remember seeing Vladimir blunder in tournaments possibly ever. I would not be surprised if that statement were to be true. He's, like I said, he's probably one of the most consistent players in like tournament wise when it comes to success and actual delivery in winning awards. Not only on the national field, but also on the international field. Stacking approach for posij, which will suit nicely as he will now be able to very efficiently build up his city and get 2 extra points for the monasteries. And there is actually not that much of a threat of this square becoming blocked anytime soon, given that all 3 daggers are still available and a ton of other tiles. So if Vladimir wants to block this square, and he, don't get me wrong, he certainly does, but he will have to use at least 3 tiles to do so. At least 3. Over here, and then over here. And that gives the Czech player plenty of time to find something on the square. Probably this is the move that we are going to see from Vladimir. Oh, I think this is some lost potential. I think this is lost potential, even though it does like immediately take away quite a lot of tiles from the Czech opponent from placing anything over here. Then you get a shielded tile for yourself. You get to start a new city in a actually really safe square. And even though it is on your opponent's field, you also get to continue your city at the top, like indirectly. It's just just a really good and nice looking move, which is really hard to deal with as the red player. But instead, this is also like very reasonable. I mean, Vladimir is going to be able to build these blocking platforms with tempo. So getting a meeple back and getting some points on the board and forcing his opponent to then react or use a move afterwards to save or make a semi save on this square. So what does the Czech player do? Something that he could maybe ponder is maybe this. Start a new city over here, even though it does get Vladimir the potential 3-point road or a potential loop road. Nah. Nah. I mean, this doesn't really have all that much potential of actually like successfully blocking the two meeples, the two monasteries, because there were still two starting tiles, like an enormous amount of road tiles, and even a road monastery. So, like, what are you going to restrict? What are you even going to restrict that city to? There's not a whole lot of options. Besides, you probably have to take a city cap as soon as possible. Like, I think I think the Czech player had some alternative paths to go, which were more prominent. Yeah, like he actually didn't get use out of the city cap or the crossroad, other than 1 point for a monastery, which is pretty lame. With potentially the most versatile tile in the whole game. And when you think about that, 1 point is not exactly or doesn't sound like the most lucrative use for that tile. It actually sounds pretty garbage, which I think it was. Vladimir, do you take the 3 points here? No, just simply kind of cover up your monastery a little bit, even though there are still all kinds of tiles available there. All 3 daggers, a lot of regular curves, 4 curves, and even 2 crossroads there. So I mean, it's very, very likely that this meeple will be coming back to Vladimir's hand at some point. And now we also have even more troubles heading our way as the red player, as Vladimir is threatening to finish a rather large-ish city with a combo of triple city and a Dorito. So this is super troublesome. So do we create a platform from here? Or do we just go here, take a loop road, and then create a platform there? Okay, this is also fine. There's still 4 crossroads remaining, and when Vladimir has his own road project going on over here, I think he's a bit less encouraged to start restricting this loop road of red immediately. And this also, obviously creates the attacking platform on the city Okay, we have had a little freeze, I believe. So the reason why this road is quite all right is because Vladimir has his own road down at the bottom. So I think he's going to be less encouraged to start blocking off this road into a crossroad or to any other tile for that matter immediately. And so this is pretty safe actually. And the biggest reason, of course, is that this city, this move creates the attacking platform to the city immediately, which is what happened. And after some rapid moves, after our small uh, connection issues, we can see that the attack was successful. And it's actually not even blockable with any one tile except for the quad city. Vladimir with 3 meeples is going to be able to take up another monastery in a decent spot, 5 points. Posij enjoying life with the city caps is going to go over here and maybe is also going to drop a farmer. Not the worst idea, even though you have only 1 meeple. It's not the worst idea. Because you have easily recoverable stuff on the board, namely this city and also this monastery. And you would also be able to prevent Vladimir from dropping a farmer when he gets the chance to do so, which was the main reason why we should have probably gone over here and only finished the city afterwards. I mean, we needed a little bit more patience, I think. A little bit more patience. Because like you can see, it's a 12-point field. It's a very lucrative field, and we want to keep it to ourselves. And what better way to do that than to get an insurance farmer over here for 3 points and 2 potential cities on it, one of which is our opponent's 1-point city, which will prevent our opponent from dropping a farmer. So Vladimir is. Do you just take 1 point? I think Vladimir is going to hold on with the connection over here. There is no rush to do so. It's it's 6 points in itself, and there is a third city um, like being offered to that field. And there's also no rush, absolutely no rush in giving red a meeple back into use. So 4 points for Pavel about to come. I would be surprised if there's any other move to be made. But we have seen some other stuff, which is not exactly what your host has had in mind. Final starting tile is now gone, and this connection can now be blocked if one of the other player wants that to happen. So, as red, one thing we could do maybe is go over here and just simply drop a farmer. To try and connect to this 9-point field and to create some pressure on and to see what Vladimir actually wants to do with this square. And after that move, I think he would be very much inclined to actually block it. But he would just have to spend a move there. So that's, you know, something that we would be getting out of it, on top of the farmer, of course. Huh. Not sure. What is this exactly? Just trying to limit the potential tiles that Vladimir can use to attack the field from here? Maybe. Well, we get a crossroad, so we get a meeple back. And I actually do seriously think that we need to attack this 9-point field urgently. Does he drop a 1-point city meeple? No, he does not. Leaves it for green, which he takes. And now, I think as red we have to go for it. I think we have to definitely have to go for the connection on this 9-point field, which can be 12 and 15 points, so it's going to be really significant. We are going to have to fight for it. Even though we are ahead on the scoreboard, I don't believe we are ahead on the actual board. And this is unfortunate news somewhat, as Vladimir makes a second platform to enter the field, but also luckily for us, or luckily for Pavel, Vladimir also does not get a tile to attack that field with another meeple. With 2 tiles. Do we do this? I mean, it seems okay. It's a 6-point field. Could be a 9-point field. We still have a 75% chance of actually getting to that field. Or not getting to that field, but a 75% chance of connecting to the city, equalizing all points, and getting the city to actually even 4 different fields, which sounds kind of crazy. And it's probably also something that we have to get. We are equal on the board, and Pavel does go for the extra farmer here. So equal on the board, 8 and 8, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So plus 12 for Vladimir without any fields. This is 12. There's a pending attack on this field. So as of right now, technically players are dead equal, but it is not exactly true, as Pavel is attacking the fields here and can still complete his monastery at any given point to get a meeple back. So if I were to be playing, I think I would prefer red here with the pending field attacks. So as Vladimir, do we just add a point calmly to our monastery? Do we go over here, drop a farmer? What do we do? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And the road monastery. Oh! Risky, risky. Vladimir indirectly completes an 8-point city. which he doesn't get a city cap to complete that with. But there are city caps available. Don't count anything out. Goes with the final meeple. Goes for the extras. And I have to say I like it. Because now, after this connection to the what I would call the main field, because it was the first that was formed, posij is actually in a position where he might lose the field for the first time. So we could go here, connect, but I think we have to actually find another way to get to the field rather. Maybe we can go over here, drop a farmer, and then connect it through a curve or a field crossroad. Not the worst option. Because we gotta now note that as the player with who has the meeples, we have this 8-point city available. $11 points ahead. 5 minus 3 minus 9. 1, 2, 3, 4. We also have one divider to go here, as well as a field Dorito. So we have 2 tasks to connect this guy into the field. So let's say that all fields are equal. We are minus 9. No. 11. 6. Wait, no. 11, 10, 5, 3. Yeah, minus 9 with all equal. And I don't know if that was the right decision to give a meeple back to our opponent. Like, yeah, it's points, of course, but now they have an extra meeple to place onto the field and to score with. Because there is this 8-point city, which is really important, actually. Or it looks like it. Though, of course, more important is the fact that we have to at least tie the field. And we don't have a great tile to do that. Maybe we should actually just take this 8-point potential off of the field and just place a 5-point ruin meeple. Just to be able to deny the points from Vladimir, and no one still doesn't get any city caps. How many are there even left? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. 3 city caps. There are still 3 city caps. That 8-point city is gonna be so juicy for either player, but especially juicy for Vladimir, as he is at the moment the player in the lead and also leading the field. What's the threshold that a regular field fight becomes a Brazilian field fight? That one you would have to ask from other experts, namely Brazilians. Meeples times cities equals is greater than characters in Brazilian field fight. Is a fieldless win at all possible for red? I mean, fieldless win. I mean, scratch these. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I mean, it's 21 points extra for Vladimir. And he's already leading by like 9 points, so it's like plus 30. I really don't think that the Fielders win is viable for the Czech here. Really having difficult time in imagining that. Wiseman is saying that there is only 2 city caps remaining. The unfortunate thing for Red is that he needs the divider here. And he does. So this 8-point city is still up and going. Feisty, feisty. Okay, so now the field is equal. Posij with plus 12 on the scoreboard. 4 plus 2. So Posij is now actually only minus 2 with 2 extra meeples. So. Now we are potentially able to cook something. Minus 5 with plus 1 meeple, which we could use maybe just over here. Maybe we just take a 7-point road, but then we kind of flip for the game for this city, don't we? Don't we not? Because this is the final curve, I think. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, the final curve. So there's actually no tiles to go here, which would be helping the field fight for either player. So no vanillas, no monasteries, no curves. So it's gonna, so this 8-point city is gonna be truly the game maker. For either player. Or, maybe as Posij we can go here, drop a farmer, but then then we need the dagger anyway, so it doesn't really matter. Doesn't make all that much sense. Oof, it's so ugly, man. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. No crossroads. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. One triple city with a field remaining. So there's that. Then I think there's the field Dorito. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, one field Dorito. Yeah, how about road Doritos? 1, 2, 3. Oh. Oh. 2 field Doritos. Is that right? So 1, 2. Yeah, 2 field Doritos. Oh, the dagger hits. And it hits in favor of Vladimir. And Posij goes out of time. Well, oh, that's so anticlimactic. Man. That is truly sad for both Pavel and for us all equally. I would have loved to see how this ends. But maybe there is the nerves of the Czech that are failing from 0-2 to 2-2. one dagger each, so 2 daggers. That's why I counted 3 city caps, and that when Weissmace said in the chat that there is a splitter. Plus one. Okay. Weissmace said one dagger each, but I missed out on the each part, so I just tried a splitter plus one dagger. So I just ignored that third city cap and was like, okay. Okay. One road Dorito. So I counted those wrong also. Nice. Yeah, I truly am compassionate with you, Larbattori. I'm truly sad that we don't get to see that battle how it would have ended. But the defending champion is giving the battle of the Czech of the Czech players' life as we now head into a decisive game for the semi-final spot. And what better can there be? Well, seemingly there could be a lot of better stuff that can happen, as the starting position does not look really great for posij. Oh boy, it doesn't look great when. Oh boy, it doesn't look great. Oh boy, it doesn't look great. When Vladimir snatches the first city, gets what, 14 points for that, so 20-0 on the board, gets the 6 points road as well, gets to be the first on the field. Well, arguably the field is very easy to attack to, but anyway, posij instead with a 4-point city, a 3-point road, and a 5-point monastery, and is going to be in a disadvantage for the remainder of the beginning of this game. For the sake of viewers, they should change the rules, finish the game anyway, but register the loss to the player who went out of time after the fact. Able I won a game despite being down 0-21 earlier today, so who knows? But yeah, this looks great for Green. Yeah. Wait. Um, 2 losses on time in the same day. I think if Napalm and Pakshay have had a loss on time, I have completely missed that one, I have to say. Huh. Yeah, we are gonna have to check that, but we will only check that after this match has ended. Okay, posij does get some decent tiles here. A great tile for him to go over here to take 2 points, cut off the potential curve expansion of the field of green, and indirectly finish his road. Oh, why? Why? Why would you create a city on your opponent's field? Oh, God. Like, I get that you don't really want a city cap like next to your own city cap, but when we take into account, hear me out, when we take into account that green already had two open city caps and would then have some decisions to make, whether to finish a city not on his field versus one of the other cities that he had, I don't think it's bad at all to have that extra city cap like next to your own city. Like for all you know, you can take great advantage of triangles or triple cities even. But it's now done, and also Vladimir drops another meeple on the field, which is now 12 points. Meanwhile, posij gets already the third monastery, so he has actually catched up on the scoreboard very well. Still a bit behind, as this 12-point field is not exactly covered with the monastery and this one city, but this is definitely went into a more into a more equal game position regarding the field, regarding the points. Pakshay won the second game by time. Okay. Well, fortunately, that does not matter. I mean, first of all, I think all games were played until the end between these two players, unless I have like Alzheimer. But oh, oh yeah, it was a concession. I don't know. It's just about my memory. I mean, maybe I just haven't had the energy for today to actually remember this stuff, even though I clearly should have. But yeah, there was. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it is on stream, and it's arguably I have to admit it's pretty hard to not see when a player concedes the game when you're streaming that. But you know everything's possible. Okay. Posij somehow has turned a 0-20 lead of Vladimir on the board into 31-46. So looking pretty good on that regard. Also has this 7-point monastery, and Vladimir with still this 12-point field and now a rather sizable city, which is difficult to attack to, but it also requires at least 4 tiles to actually be finished, so it's not such a huge threat, at least yet. Posij with 5 meeples, I think he's gonna go to and take the field, which is exactly what he does. Vladimir strengthens his field to 2 meeples and gets a monastery of his own. And then we could actually go here and prepare a monastery spot and make it slightly more inconvenient for Vladimir to finish his monastery, and we also take some of the space away from this field, which is great. And instead of actually making a monastery spot of his own, Vladimir disregards this move and instead focuses on defending his city from attacks and also disrupts this potential 4-point road. but it is going to cost him, as his monastery gets restricted. Oh no. His monastery gets restricted to a dagger, which there are only one remaining, and he would have just gotten a second monastery, which would have been absolutely lovely jubbly to place just next to his previous one. But as the decisions have consequences, he is not able to stack monasteries, and even a third monastery. Oh, this is so hard, difficult to watch. So unfortunate for Vladimir, as he gets back-to-back monasteries. Would have been lovely to finish up one of those and get some great green squares for his field on like 1, 2, 3, technically 4 green squares on his field and a meeple back, but it's not going to happen. Instead, his field is pretty restricted now, out of all space, and also his city is under attack with one meeple and 2 monasteries in separate locations, which makes it a little in what's the word, inefficient to build with like 1 point moves each time. He's gonna have to potentially figure out another strategy. Well, the good thing is that also the city of Posij is likely blocked, because there's only one vanilla left, and taking into account that Posij doesn't actually even bother taking back his monastery meeple, it seems like he is completely fine with an 8-point monastery and doesn't want to give any additional city caps on his opponent's field, which is perfectly justifiable given his point lead on the scoreboard, because he can still connect to the city here. I believe there are still tiles to do that. There are 2 triple cities with a road, and also potentially road Doritos. 1, 2, 3. Well, after this, there are no more road Doritos, but there are 2 triple cities with a road. And Vladimir, according to all reason and that stuff, he's gonna go here like in some way, and he's gonna try and restrict this square to anything but the triple city with a road. Posij can't really make a useful save, or can he? Can he just go here? Are there tiles to actually get that city? Yes, there are. So he just instead completes the city and starts a new one. That is reasonable enough. And also gets to expand his city, his field, which is nice. Gets to include this city also, so that's a +3 move. So let's take a look at the point situation. So +20 for the Czech, +21, +9, +3, +9, +10, +9, +10, 5, -1, and after this +2, and a meeple extra. So it's at the moment it is actually looking pretty good for the Czech. Okay, a great move from Vladimir. Adds 1 point to the monastery and prepares to meeple this city upon getting the final dagger with the right-hand side curve. Also gets to add a city cap on his field. So now he, all of a sudden, even though he didn't actually take 4 points from here and gets, an immediate an immediately better return for his tile. He's going for the long shot, and he's adding, or at least trying to add cities to his field. Which begs the question, as Pavel, do you go over here and take this city? And he decides not to. And I have to say that I think I disagree with that move. Well, it depends on the amount of city caps that there are still left. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. I mean, still 4 city caps. It's pretty substantial. I mean, it is a 7-point move for Vladimir with any city cap. Well, Vladimir actually has 3 city caps in use for this because he needs the dagger over here. But still, I think it would be actually better for Pavel if he just takes the city cap for himself and keeps this city like out of harm's way. So like out of the way of moves like this. And for all we know, Vladimir might actually even go for stuff like this. Just take the city outright. Maybe. 1, 2, 3. Oh no. Oh no, no. Wait. Is this a full block? Or... Oh, it's okay. It's not a full block, but there is only 1 city cap that goes here. Or is there 2? No, only 1. No starting tiles. No city crossroads. And posij. I think we take this city. Yeah, I think we take this city first. Because if Vladimir gets that dagger that we need here, then he won't be able to get points from this city or this city. He won't be able to score for his field. But if we take this and be like, oh well, it's 4 points, not 1, then Vladimir gets the dagger and he can score 7 instead of 0. So that's gonna be decent for us. Plus, like, we are banking on getting more city caps, and we can use city caps both with the road and with field. So it's, I think, imperative that we take this city cap here first for the aforementioned reasons. But he doesn't take it. This better not backfire. Okay. Fortunately, it might actually still, because now this is potentially even more cities for Vladimir's field. It might backfire like 3 points, but it's not given. Also, we do draw the dagger that Vladimir was looking for, so that's great. Now I think there is only 1 city cap left, and it is the dagger with the left hand side curve. And so now we can do some point counting. So plus 24, 27, 36, 37, 38, 30, 27, 26, 18, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We actually plus 3 at the moment. Do note that I haven't counted this city for Vladimir, as it might not be something that he gets. So plus 2, and we have an extra meeple. So things are pretty alright. If we get this dagger, then I think it's over. Because it's gonna be an 11-point move, because we get to meeple the 6-point field. So that's gonna be massive. That is the power move that we can make. We might have to consider doing... Ooh. Okay, well, this works at least momentarily. There is still a there is still a crossroads in the deck, which Vladimir will be able to use to get his meeple out. But this is good. This is good because now Vladimir won't be able to use less valuable tiles, such as this straight road, to release his monastery here. And then instead of taking 3 points with the crossroad, he might end up using the crossroad here just to simply take the meeple back. So this is going to work fine for Pavel. And remember, we are +2. We are +2 with an extra meeple, so it might be that the bells of victory are near. Emphasis on the word might. Anything can happen still. Do we need to block? I don't think we do. I don't think we bother. I think we just take 2 points over here. Or over here. I think over here is a bit better, because we don't want to create features such as this ruin with a cow when our opponent is the one who has less points, not us. Not us. So I think we just take 2 points. We do not bother with this. Ah, he does create the ruin, but it doesn't matter because Vladimir doesn't get this as the final tile. Just adds 1 point, and we are what, +4. I think we are back at +3. Back at +3. We need to take care of. Actually, what do we need to take care of? Vladimir is probably looking to actually get to this field with. Are there any curves? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. No curves. I think Vladimir is looking to get to this field, but also he wants to use a tile here. And he has 3 tiles in use. We are +3. There is a field crossroad. What else? The dagger. The dagger really only works well for us because, well, it's worth 3 points for Vladimir as well, but so is pretty much any other tile probably in the deck. Vladimir might make an attack on this 9-point field, maybe through here. Whew. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Wait, is there a triple city? Oh, there's a triple city with a road. Okay, so that's 3. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. No Doritos. No monasteries. So like road tiles? It has to be road tiles, right? Maybe extenders. 1, 2. There is an extender, right? Yeah, 1 extender. This is great. This is great. This cancels out perhaps 1 point. Can Vladimir go? Oh, he can. Vladimir can go over here and drop a farmer and hope to get the dagger. That's what he can do. Because we are now +6. We are +6. He has to make something big. And he has to bank on getting the dagger anyway. So we might as well, as Vladimir, go over here, drop a farmer. He does drop the farmer. He finds exactly the best move. Oh, okay, now posij needs to realize that the remaining tile is the dagger and this triple city. So we can't do exactly this. What is our... I think our best bet is to simply... Oh, it's really bad. It's just about the dagger. It's just about the dagger, isn't it? Yeah, I think we just go here and and take the 5-point ruin. Because we don't even need to care about this, do we? Oh, wait. There's 3 tiles. There's 3 tiles, right? Oh, oh. Oh, Varric gets a dagger. He gets the master plan completed. He gets the master plan completed. We get the triple city, but it's not going to be any good for us anymore because we are too much behind. And a straight road. Oh, this is difficult to watch, man. Poor Pavel. Oh, gets the 6-point field as well. Oh, what a marvelous effort from both players. It's a, truly, this is such an important move for Vladimir of maximizing his point gain. And he actually got the absolutely perfect sequence for himself with 3 tiles to go. First this one, get your meeple back, go on the field, go here, and he gets immediately the only curvy tile that there is in the deck, gets the 4 points, and then he gets the 6 extra points for the field with the remaining meeple that he has. Oh, that is such a gorgeous sequence for Vladimir, and this is absolutely devastating for the Czech as he was up 0-2 and he had this game in a marvelous position, but he got screwed over in the end. Okay, we gotta see. Well, first of all, we'll see the chat, but then we'll see, can posij do anything else but take this road? Can he do something else? Oh. Would have preferred a 5-point monastery spot by Vladimir next to the 4-point road, maybe. Think it was, I don't know, over here at the time. Probably. Isloon and I might start a bit earlier tomorrow, not before 6:30, even earlier, man. Additionally, they might not have time to finish a best of 5 in one session. Oh. Okay. Well, I guess we have to adjust, both you two and me. Would have been a disaster if posij went for the semi-safe. Yeah, exactly. Meaning this scenario over here. Yeah, I do believe that it was not worth it to go, precisely because there was only 2 tiles that fit the that fit therefore like posij in favor of him and Vladimir actually had more than 2 tiles, actually had at least 4 tiles, maybe 5 tiles to do anything here. I forgot that the quarterfinals are best of 5. Yeah, there's a lot of that going on at the moment. I might have forgotten that as well with Napalm and Pakshay, but we fixed that. And also, yeah, I also actually both of the English streamers forgot about the best of 5, thought it was a best of 3. A 3-2 coming down to a coin flip. You can't write a better scenario. Yeah. It's certainly content. It is content, but it's still just heartbreaking for the Czech player. I mean, he was doing so well, man. Are you streaming Alexei's match? Yes, I am. I am gonna be streaming both Alexei Rapid Rain and also Isloon and Wise Mace tomorrow. So let us take a moment and think what else posij might be able to do. And for that, we of course need to go for the replay because no one remembers the actual points at the time. So let's go for here, and let's be gently like 120 maybe. Okay, yeah, this is great. So we got this, which is fine. We got this, then we got this for 2 extra points, then a point for someone you know, and now we think. Now we think, is there any way how we can get 100% win? I think I said we were at +3, but we are gonna check one more time. So plus 26, 29, 30, 38, 39, 48, 45, 36, 28, 20, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, plus 5 plus 3. Sounds about right. So let's say plus 3. We have 2 straight roads. We have a dagger. We have an extender, and we have a triple city with a field. And so, wait, 2 straight roads, extender, dagger, crossroad, yeah, and then triple city with a field, and triple city with a road. So, do we ever plus? Well, the thing is, we are +3, so maybe we don't even need to spend a meeple this turn. Even though I know we have only 2 tiles remaining, and we have potential of maximizing our point score if we do spend a meeple on this turn. But what if we don't spend a meeple? What if we find another way? What if we just take a random road for 3 points? Then we are +6, right? Then we are +6. Then Vladimir has to get, well, then Vladimir has 1 meeple. We are +6. Then if he gets that, wait, what am I doing? I just said, is there a way that we don't spend a meeple? And I said that what if we take a random 3-point road, which obviously doesn't spend a meeple. Shit. Okay, well, maybe we have to spend a meeple. So let's... No, but... Okay, let's think about it this way. What is the plan of Vladimir to come back from that 3-point deficit? When he's the starting player, the 3-point deficit is not even enough. He actually has to get 4 points more, at least 4 points more. So, this... Does this work? Like if we envisioned it so hard that we assume that Vladimir goes for this route, does this make any sense? Because 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, yeah, so the straight road. I mean, it would give a chance to block. What if we go here without a meeple? Without a meeple. Then Vladimir, because then we can make the block from above with the triple city with a road, or at least like have a chance to do that, right? And then we are still at +3. Then Vladimir gets his stuff with this, and then he goes to ±0 with a 4-point move, or like well, +1 actually. Then we still have 2 meeples versus 1, and it's like 5-point spot here. We got this. We can take a road to take back the lead. So begs the question, does Vladimir actually win with anything else but this ninja farmer? If he gets a triple city with a field, then he can actually go here, and then he's going to have actually a lot of tiles to go here. The crossroad, the straight road, and he's going to have the dagger. So 3 tiles to get 9 points to +6. Let's say 2 tiles, because then we assume that he gets this for extra meeple in hand. So that's like one of the worst scenarios, which is why I would actually consider going here, because then we can still block this potential scenario here with a straight road, right? And then we are still +3. Then if, I mean, okay, I don't think there's a 100% win anywhere here, but if we just manage to secure this 9-point field for ourselves, would that be enough? Because we don't actually need to score the highest that we possibly can. We don't need to really think about the meeple count in our hand, because with the scoring tiles that are in the game, or with any tile that is in the game that we can score with, that could be used as a weak point tile, I think it's going to be plenty. I think it's going to be more than enough, right? So we don't have to really care about the meeple management here. So, but we might as well use a meeple this turn anyway. So it's if Vladimir does not get the crossroad, if he just gets, like, let's say a straight road and he goes here, +6 back to +3, but he has to count on getting the dagger, so like he might as well go maybe here at one point to us and then go here. Assume that he gets the dagger for +9 or +8, and then this for +9, +3. No, we are gonna win that any day. Did we actually run into the situation where we faced one of the only sequences in which we lose as the Czech player? We might have. Oh shit. I missed the chat between the players. Ah, yeah, actually, okay. When I said that, let's take a look at the chat, I actually meant that I was gonna take a look at the stream chat because I knew that there was gonna be comments that I had not responded to, and but I did also have in my head that I wanted to take a look at the players chat also, but I am too ahead of myself, and that is unfortunate loss for everyone. So better luck next time for myself and for y'all. Hi Vladimir. Congrats for the semi-final spot. Great comeback, certainly from a 0-2 deficit position. Completely sweaty, even though the window next to me is open and it's -10. What if red just takes 6-point field bottom left and hopes green doesn't get tube? Yeah, 2 green farmers. That's the issue, because if we just take this field over here for 6 points, which looks like, all right, it's the most immediate points that we can take. Unfortunately, in most cases, it doesn't work, because then Vladimir will have the dagger, the straight road, and the crossroad, all of which will negate this field, which will actually make this farmer useless and get 3 points for Vladimir. So that's actually going to be just, kind of tossing away our advantage. So I don't think it's going to work. I mean, in some scenarios, it will, because we will then be able to get both this 6-point field and this ruin, and then deny the connection. But I don't think I would be the one to do that as the red player. Yeah, I think it might have really been just super unfortunate run out of tiles for red, as like, you simply cannot ask for better run out of tiles as Vladimir, as the 3 tiles he got as his final one. I mean, look at this sequence, man. First here, then you get this, then you hope for the dagger, then your opponent draws garbage, you get the dagger, so you even get the 4 extra points over here. And yeah, and then you even draw the final road tile. So like, actually, oh no, but this is 2 points for posij. So let's, if we switch the places of this and this, then it's like, 1 point here, and then Vladimir will be able to take a 4-point ruin. So, 2 versus 6 as opposed to 1 versus 4. So that's, that's +1. And it's kind of insane that, even with the same tiles, we could have even potentially won the game, I think, if the tile run out would be different. So so the tiles that we got now and the tiles that our opponent got now would just come in a different order. Or is that so? We definitely need, in that case, no, actually, scratch that. We actually just not need much else, but like avoid this crossroad coming as first, and then it's all right, I guess. Yeah, because then Vladimir needs to keep the meeple in hand to attack the field. Like, he can't really do anything with any of the tiles. Yeah, if we just do that. Oh no. Yeah. Like this crossroad, like 1 turn later, I think would already more or less even guarantee the win for posij, because the tie is not enough for Vladimir. Okay, but enough of that. The other thing that we have to take care of is to before I forget about that as well, is to actually make sure that Maple Eye did concede a game. So it was the second game. Yeah, so out of time for Naples. Somehow I managed to forget that in the span of not much. Oh, hey, wait. Ah, there's the chat. I'm saved. I am saved. And also, I might have to move my camera, or maybe not. Okay, let's move it a little bit. Not that. Okay. And let's move that as well. So now you can see the chat for all of those who are interested. Well, first things first, Vladimir kinda sorry that he won. I mean, crushing dreams of other players is always, kind of tough stuff. It's a ton of work, so gotta be humble. But oh yeah, and that the loss on time for I think it was the fourth game where it was actually tied on 2-2. Is I mean, we are never going to know what would have happened in that game. We are never gonna know, and it sucks. Oh, now we can't see your face. Okay, we will move it. Uh, wait, I will fix this even if it was the last day on Earth. The last thing on Earth that I would do. Now we're good. We put it here and we put this over here. Now we're good. Then, yeah, Vladimir saying I think I would win that one, and I have to actually agree because at the time that that Pavel went out of time, Vladimir actually had a dagger in hand, which would get 8 points for the city, and so that would place Vladimir back in the lead of like 5 or 6 points, I think. And with no big features left other than the field, it could have indeed been a pretty difficult to get those extra 5 points for posij, if not impossible. I mean, but there were a lot of curves actually, so I think what posij could have also tried to actually do um, is to even forego that road that he took, the 7 point road, and instead go with a farmer, with a ninja farmer, because there were actually a lot of curves remaining. Like apparently one road Dorito, I seem to have counted them wrong, and then two daggers. No, two daggers, one dagger. Anyway, I mean there were curves, definitely. So a ninja farmer was not exactly out of the question. Yeah, I had the tile to close the city, referring to the dagger that Vladimir had in hand. Don't remember exactly, but I would almost certainly win it if the field was tied. I don't think it is exactly like that, my guy. I think you are losing that. Yeah, Vladimir also saying that he had a plus 5 point uh, advantage before the timeout. Wait, did no, but Bosic didn't have an extra meeple anymore at the time of the timeout. I mean, he used that extra meeple to get the road, no? And there we have it. There we have it. Uh, Vladimir Kovalev is a noob. Ah, hello there, Hudek. Nice to see you joining us on the final minutes, I believe. Yeah, big ups and also big commiserations for your um, unfortunate ending for the CCL. I mean, you made like a hell of a destruction in this season. From your perspective, you were winning, if not for the dagger that you couldn't anticipate. I mean, that's yeah, true. I mean, yeah, fair enough, fair enough. So like, you were in a +2 lead or something like that after you take the road, and at that point you didn't know exactly what tile your opponent had in hand. So it's fair enough. Vladimir is saying that he hates this timer, so maybe the players don't know that the 50-minute format is available in CCL. Is it? Wait, because I didn't know that. I mean, can players really choose between the two? Like either go with a normal slow speed or just a 15-minute timer? Because that's new stuff for me, and definitely not something that I have actually even seen anywhere, at least in recent months. Maybe it's in the official rules that I have read like 1.5 years ago, but no one no one remembers them like exactly. It's a pain in the ass to set up tournament compared to normal game. I agree. I have once done that, and I have to say that it is far more pleasurable to actually just set up a a simple table. Also, we have not updated the score. We of course have to take the right score to pay our respects to both players. If simple game format, then only slow speed, but a few matches were played with a 15-minute tournament, which is allowed if both players agree. Huh. You know that well, for some players that might actually be more beneficial. For mostly Czech players, probably not. Let us actually see how much time did these players use, because I feel like these were pretty uh, mediocre paced games. And would you look at that, the Czech player uses 2.5 times more time than than Vladimir, even like in a single game. So Czechs definitely learned from Martin there, or from some other player of unknown name. But I don't think this is a pattern that you can deny. That Czech players do take significantly more time than normal than us normies. Okay, I think we will wrap it up uh, about here. Now, for tomorrow's games, let me remind you all that the matches are scheduled to take place at 7 a.m. UTC for the first one, Utsemate versus Isloon, and the more gentle European time afternoon match is going to be between Alexei and Rapid Rain at 12 UTC. So that's going to be a blast for tomorrow. And as it's actually mentioned in the stream chat not too long ago, let me actually find that exact comment. It's gonna be maybe even earlier than 7 a.m. Yeah, so here, Isun and I might start a bit earlier tomorrow, not before 6:30 UTC. So it's gonna be somewhat annoying to not know the exact timing, because I think I might still open just launch the stream at 7 or just a bit before 7 a.m. But like there's not much to be done, if I start streaming at 6:30 and people are not playing and we don't know when they are going to be playing. So it's going to be a bit boring for all the viewers. But I'll keep my eye on that, and when I see that the match starts, then if it starts before the scheduled time, then I will certainly try my best to start the stream immediately. That'll be all for tonight. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you all have a great rest of the day. And I hope you all are going to be ecstatic for tomorrow, as we have 2 great matches to come. Bye for now.